This video is brought to you by the EA Creator Network. My opinions are my own, and thank you to EA for sending me free codes for these two kits. Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and today I've got two new kittens to show you! Oh, wait, that's not actually what I'm doing. Not as interesting as that, but we got two more kits! The first being Greenhouse Haven, where you can, well, make a greenhouse, and Basement Treasures, where you can help decorate your basement with various clutter of objects that have a lot of kind of wear and tear. What both of these kits have in common are a heavy focus on clutter, though with Greenhouse Haven it does have some more build-focused items too. It has a gable, a fan that thankfully is animated after all, some doors and windows that come in 2 out of the 3 different wall heights, a new floor tile, various clutter including gardening tools, and a couple of potted plants, a couple of tables, and a storage chest where you actually can store objects in it. There's also a wall shelf, a hanging plant, and a hanging lamp. And we also have a new wallpaper that comes in a surprising amount of swatches with 2 different varieties, where I feel like if this had been an earlier kit, they would have been considered 2 separate items. Just like with the last wave of kit releases, there's one kit that I'm pretty disappointed with, and there's one that I'm impressed with. And this is the one that I'm disappointed with, though thankfully it's not nearly as awful as that bathroom clutter kit was. But I don't know, I do feel this one is kinda lacking in some areas, and also kinda shows that kits really aren't big enough, because I think this and Blooming Rooms could have been one kit together instead of being separate. And while I appreciate that they do have the windows and doors coming in the short and medium wall heights, what about the tallest one? I find it kind of weird that they just stopped there, even though it probably would take up more of the item count, but I really wish that would not be a factor. But I will say it is pretty cool how some of the swatches for these doors and windows have screens on them so you can make a screened-in porch with them. And the green color scheme that they've used reminds me a lot of the greenhouses that we could make in The Sims 2, so it has a nostalgic vibe, not in the same way as the Basement Treasures, but still kind of, in a way. I'm not sure how often I'll use this kit because when we try growing plants, there's been that major bug for years where they keep reverting back to dirt piles. So I don't know if they'll ever fix that. I think Carl's Seasons Tuner mod is supposed to fix it, but I haven't really tried gardening extensively since I downloaded it. Now let's move on to the kit that I walked away more impressed with, which is Basement Treasures. I already had a feeling I was going to like this one more, but there's some interesting details in this one where it feels like they really tried. They really tried with this one. So this basement themed kit comes with a couple of boxes as hinted on that roadmap. One that is more exposed and one that is closed. We have a couple of seating arrangements, a couch, and a chair that would be cool if it functioned as a recliner, a couple of stacked chairs that actually work as a surface, a bookshelf, a storage chest that unfortunately this one does not function as such, a couple of TVs where one is a TV console that's not functional and another is a vintage TV that is. There's a landline phone that is no longer in service, a milk crate with some vinyl records, a clutter piece of old board games, a few trophies, a 2-wheeled dolly that has luggage on it. There's also a doll without the Y, and surprisingly, the rubber plant from the Sims 1 base game that I used all the time. It's even called Uncle Bob's Dusty Rubber Plant, probably referencing Bob Newby. In addition, we have a new wall detail object that comes in various swatches that completely changes its look. There's one that is also like that for the floor, and there is a new photo frame that comes in a bunch of swatches referencing various households from The Sims 4. And last but certainly not least, but probably most controversially, is this hearth bed from The Sims Live and Large, but dismantled. An interesting idea to have as clutter to be sure, but this is not a gameplay kit, so you're not able to put it back together. The object description does hint that maybe we could still get it back, but for now I'm assuming this is the lore. The reason we don't have heart beds in The Sims 4 is because they're considered old antiques and have already been dismantled to put in the basement. Overall, I think I am pretty happy with the swatches that we have for these objects. It is interesting how with some it looks more worn than in other swatches. I will say though, I wish for that two-wheel dolly we had a version of it without any luggage or anything on it, because then it would be far more versatile. Hopefully someone can make a CC version of it. It also would be great if with the frames we could actually slide our own photos into there instead of just being stuck with random pre-made Sims that our own Sims may not really care about. And the console TV I wish had a functional version, but Surely Sims has mods that fixes both of those issues, so that is pretty cool. I'll have to make a separate video about some mods that help improve these kits. The wall details are pretty great, and I'm looking forward to seeing what builders will do with those, though with the floor ones, I find them pretty difficult to see. I even used this bright green floor from Spa Day to try and show them off better. A fun little detail worth mentioning is that if you enable the emotional aura on them, both of the lamps cause a little bit of a tense buff, and the dismantled heart bed actually gives off a pretty strong flirty decor. If you use the tool mod, you can actually use some of these objects to just make your neighborhoods look more trashy, especially Evergreen Harbor with Eco Lifestyle. While there are still some shortcomings with this kit, overall this might be one of my favorite build buy ones yet. I really love the creativity on display here, and I think I am going to use this quite a bit because even though it has basement in the title, you could use this in a lot more places than just the basement as I just showed off really. Both of the lamps even have a flickering effect which explains the tense buff, and there is some static on the TV with an interesting overlay as you're watching it compared to other TVs. And also the fan from the Greenhouse Haven kit has some sound, so I'm gonna just let you listen to these sounds for a little bit to just appreciate it. So both of these kits have just over 25 objects each, which is pretty par for the course regarding these kits. Overall, I still wouldn't say for sure either one is worth $5 for sure. Not really worth half the price of a stuff pack, but I do feel like, especially with the Basement Treasures kit, they have put more effort to make the objects more interesting. The greenhouse one feels a bit incomplete to me, especially since they don't have the doors and windows in all of the wall heights. But overall, as much as I still hate the concept of kits and wish they would just go away already, at least the more recent kits have been more interesting and creative, bathroom clutter kit aside. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on these two kits in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!